Hey everyone! Welcome to the Women of Wisdom's Lavender Lounge Series here at Prince George's Community College. My name is Savannah Grooms. I am your host for today. This month, on Wednesdays noon, we have live streams where we continue to share and connect women once a month. So let's get into it. Today's theme is Hey Girl, Hey, let's explore your purpose. With that being said, I want to welcome our special guest, Miss Alicia. Hey!
Hey girl, hey! How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me today.
Thank you for coming. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your work here at Prince George's Community College.
All right. Well, again, my name is Alicia Jackson Warren. I am a finer woman of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. Want to shout out my sisters in my chapter of Delta Zeta Zeta chapter. And I also serve as the program director of career development and internships here at Prince George's Community College.
That's great. So, as I mentioned before, our topic is Hey Girl, Hey, let's explore your purpose. So, with that being said, can you define purpose for me?
So for me, I take the word purpose as meaning your divine calling and your reason for being. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. That's how I see it.
That is great. So, that being said, how do I or anyone else watching find a career that aligns with their purpose?
So in order to align your purpose with a career, I strongly suggest for individuals to undergo assessments first because you need to know where you are to know where you're going and who you are in order to arrive at that point that you feel fulfillment. And that's what most people seek when they're looking for a career. And at Prince George's Community College, we have free career assessments available within the tool called Career Coach. And you can access these assessments through the college's website at www.pgcc.edu.
Okay, what are some things that are in these assessments?
So, actually, within Career Coach, there are two different types of assessments. One is about a 6-question assessment, which allows the user to select to what extent a comment they feel agreement or disagreement with. And based on the results that come from those 6 questions, the system will generate what is called a profile based on your Holland code. And that information is then worked alongside of the various academic programs that we have at the college and industries. And then an individual will be able to see some strong matches based on their temperament, as well as ones that they might want to reconsider because it's not a good match based on how they answered the questions. And one thing I definitely want to caution any user with assessments is that it's critical that you answer the questions honestly. You will get an honest response from the tool if you provide honest answers during the assessment process.
It's only 6 questions long.
The short one is only 6. Now, the longer assessment, which is also available in Career Coach, is about 60 questions or less. I'm not exactly sure at this point because the tool continues to upgrade, but it is more comprehensive. And where individuals feel like they want to take a deeper dive to explore their temperament further, then certainly they're welcome to do the longer assessment within the Career Coach tool as well.
That's great. So outside the assessments, what other steps can you take to find your purpose?
So for me, I think that there are some simple steps that anyone can take to help them find a purpose outside of course, doing the assessments, which I still strongly encourage everyone to do. And there are a variety of free assessments available on the web. So you don't have to pay for these. Look for free. And as I've famously known for saying, free is always in the budget. But outside of that, there are some things that I suggest people to do in order to arrive at what they discover to be their purpose. And first, I suggest resting, just rest. Too often, we're so busy doing and not being. And when you are working so hard to do a variety of things, you can easily get overwhelmed and burnt out. So take a moment to rest and get your mind right so you can do things. And then I also encourage folks to reflect. You do need time to think deeply about your situation. Look at what has happened, look at what needs to happen. And, as you continue to go through that reflection process, that's going to help you to remember your why, because that's the whole point of everything that you do. Why is it that you're doing what you're doing? Even as a student, why are you taking classes at Prince George's Community College? You have to ask yourself those questions. And when you've come to answer that question, that helps you to move forward, and that is to resume the work and achieve your goal. And ideally, you have established a SMART goal so that you can get where you're going.
That's great. So that advice goes for students, adults, anyone. It can stretch very far.
I
So,
agree.
yeah. So we know that you are the career director in internships here at PGCC. So
Mhm.
can you tell us about a time that a student used your services?
Well, we are very busy over here in career development and internships. And if I may, I'd like to speak a little bit about our virtual career and internship networking event. As you know, we all experienced this pandemic back in 2020. And prior to going virtual, we were having our career networking experiences live. We had career fairs based at Largo. And we recognized that it created some challenges for our students who were based elsewhere within the county and who primarily attended the college at other sites, namely at Laurel College Center and University Town Center. So the pandemic moved us in a direction to where we created a situation where it would be more inclusive. We removed the transportation barrier and allowed not only our employers to have the benefit of a virtual experience, but our students and community residents were able to participate in our virtual career and internship networking events. And we've had a number of students who were successful in connecting with the employers, and they were able to secure career opportunities as well as internships. We've received feedback from our employers expressing their thanks and pleasure with having acquired such quality employees. So we're continuing with that effort again this spring and anticipate continuing again in the fall. So this is going to be a regular habit. And our event is free and open to the public. So those listening, please keep an ear out to be able to log on and participate. We would love to have you.
Wonderful. So you mentioned a lot of success stories when it comes to finding your purpose, but we know that with every success comes, also trials. So can you name a time or how you specifically stay motivated?
So for me, motivation is intrinsic. For some people, it's extrinsic. They have external factors that motivate them to do certain things. For me, it's very much intrinsic, which means it's coming from within, and it's really knowing my why. And I can't stress that enough. That is so critical. And my why comes from me having outlined a SMART goal, and that means specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. And some people even say time bound. And when you've crafted a SMART goal, and for me, when I've crafted a SMART goal, that holds me accountable. So that helps me to make sure I'm doing those things that I aspire to do that will bring me fulfillment and ideally also contribute positively to society as well.
Yeah, I agree. As a student, for a point of view, student's point of view, I find that finding my purpose ultimately came from doing things I enjoy. I like baking, so one thing, yeah, I have a baking business, and one thing that I found my purpose in was I started donating cakes to people, and I was like, wow, I met a lot of people through there. So, yeah, I definitely found my purpose in helping others that way.
And so with the baking, you're able to be creative
Mhm.
and, really customize the different types of pastries and baking items that you create. I'm sure that everyone who has sampled your wares have found them to be delicious. And I look forward to getting a sample too.
Of course, of course. But just to mention or reinforce that, like, finding your purpose ultimately doesn't have to be something really big. It can just be anything you like, and you can find a way to impact people through it.
Well, ultimately, that's the whole point. And
Mhm.
your purpose is not just for you. We live in a world of many people. No man is an island. That's how the saying goes. So when we're operating within our purpose, then not only are we positively impacted, but we positively impact our community and the world at large. And I think that's so critical that everyone finds their purpose so that they can operate within their purpose. And consequently, we all will be the better for it.
Definitely. So, my final question for you is, do you have any final advice for students or anyone on the track of finding their purpose?
Well, I guess I could say I have a couple of tips. There are a number of resources that anyone can use to help them along the path of discovering their purpose. There are books that are out there, particularly as it pertains to finding your purpose in the world of work. A few books that I'd like to share are Find Your Why by Simon Sinek, Dream Year by Ben Arment, and then The Art of Work by Jeff Goins. Those three books have a lean towards the career aspect of purpose, and being that we spend so much time working, that really is the focus that we want to pay attention to. So I recommend getting into some of that literature and see how that can help. And then ultimately, again, continue in the process of self discovery. I think all of that helps as you're finding your purpose and finding your way to utilize that purpose for the greater good.
That is wonderful. Well, Miss Alicia, thank you so much for coming to talk to us. If anyone is watching wants to contact you, what is the best way to do so?
So, the best way to reach me or any of my colleagues in the Office of Career Development and Internships is by email. And you can reach us at career services, that's all one word, career services at pgcc.edu. We'll be happy to communicate with you.
Thank you so, so much.
My pleasure. Thanks again for having me.
Of course. Well, I would like to thank everyone for joining the Lavender Lounge today. I would also like to thank Ms. Alicia for the great conversation, and tune in after spring break for the next Lavender Lounge episode Wednesdays at noon. Do not miss it. My name is Savannah Grooms, and thank you for joining me.